Here's your news for February 28, 2020. We are kicking off today with news from WWE Super Showdown as The Fiend's reign as Universal Champion has come to an end. In a shocking turn of events, Wyatt was flattened by Goldberg, who won his second Universal title after the Hall of Famer delivered 4 spears and a jackhammer to the now former Universal Champion. Unsurprisingly, this shocking title change has seen plenty of people take to social media to comment on the situation, and one person who knows all about commenting on Goldberg is Matt Riddle. After Goldberg hit a rather lackluster jackhammer and one fan held up a bro sign, the NXT Tag Team Champion sarcastically said that Goldberg, who he referred to as Willie G, had been watching tapes of the Broserweights to learn the move, even referring to it as the Bro Hammer. Despite a reported rule that NXT superstars shouldn't be commenting on the main roster talent without their permission, it seems that this ruling won't stop Riddle, as the King of Bros continues to taunt the Hall of Famer even after his victory. Fans online were also eager to share their disapproval of the title change, and it turns out that actor Macaulay Culkin is one of them. A known wrestling fan, Culkin took to Twitter to say he's just canceled his tickets to Tampa, where WrestleMania 36 will take place on April 5th. It's obvious that Culkin was a big fan of The Fiend's title reign and didn't like the manner how it ended, and it seems now that the former child actor will be home alone during WrestleMania 36. Sorry, we couldn't resist. With Wyatt no longer the Universal Champion, the question now is, what does WWE have planned for him at WrestleMania, as the majority of fans expected him to defend the title at the Show of Shows. Following Super Showdown, Brad Shepard reported that the plan is for Wyatt to face John Cena in Tampa, and according to Vince McMahon, that this is just as good as a title match. Interestingly, Shepard's source in WWE also said that they personally feel The Fiend is, quote, shot and has, quote, lost all momentum following the loss. Time will tell just what happens next for Wyatt after this loss, but if the plan is for him and Cena to face off on April 5th, then expect some solid storytelling by the two veterans. We are taking a break from Super Showdown for the moment to look at NXT, as this week's edition of the Gold brand saw some superstars pushed beyond their limits. According to the WWE Now injury report, Bianca Belair suffered a leg contusion during this week's show as she lost to Charlotte Flair and had her leg put in a steel chair and stomped on by the Queen of All Eras. The EST of NXT's condition is currently listed as day-to-day, and there have been plenty of rumors that Belair will be a part of Flair's story as she challenges NXT Women's Champion Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Also on the show, Dominik Dijakovic suffered an injury during his match against Cameron Grimes, and the report states that Dijakovic was the victim of a knee sprain. Given that the match was capped off with Damian Priest hitting Dijakovic in the knee with a nightstick, it's not surprising that Dijakovic's knee is hurt and his condition is listed as week to week. As always, these reports should be taken with a grain of salt, as the company has used it in the past to build storylines. But if these injuries are legitimate, it could mean some major changes ahead of NXT TakeOver Tampa and WrestleMania 36. We are heading back to Super Showdown now, as fans will remember that the trip back from last October's Crown Jewel event didn't go as planned. Instead of leaving on time last October, the WWE's flight was delayed due to a reported mechanical failure, though it was later reported that tensions between Vince McMahon and the Saudis caused the delay. Whatever the real reason was, this year's Super Showdown fared much better, as Ryan Satin took to Twitter to report that the superstars' flight from Riyadh left without any issues this time. With that in mind, the men and women of the Smackdown roster won't have any time to rest, as they'll be already preparing for tonight's show, which will air from Boston, Massachusetts. Though the WWE superstars were able to travel without any issues this time, the same can't be said for WWE legend Lance Storm. As a former Intercontinental Champion, Storm is no stranger to taking long trips as a wrestler, but took to Twitter today to share his issues with Air Canada. According to Storm, he has had to get up extremely early to go clothes shopping, as not only did the airline misplace his bag, but they never bothered to load it on the plane in the first place. In the same tweet, Storm said he was wondering where he can buy a new suit in Boston, as the technical wrestler has settled in well to his new role backstage in WWE, even if he doesn't have his suit on this occasion. We've got some potentially huge news from WWE now, as the company was recently rocked by the suspension of Samoa Joe. The suspension of the former United States champion was interestingly timed, as WrestleVotes reported that Joe had been suspended weeks ago, but the news was only confirmed recently by WWE. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer commented on the timing of Joe's suspension and even speculated that Joe's suspension may have been timed so that he can heal from his recent concussion at the same time. He said, "Maybe they didn't think that he was going to be out for a month. Now they know he's going to be out for a month with a concussion. It's not that weird. I mean, they've timed suspensions before. Plenty of guys we'd hear about failing. I mean, you've heard stories about guys who fail the test in June and in September they get suspended. I mean, that's not weird." If what Meltzer is saying is true, then it certainly throws up a lot of questions about the integrity of WWE's wellness policy, especially if they are letting superstars compete for days, weeks, or even months after they fail the test. This wasn't the only big accusation laid out by Meltzer though, as he speculated that the WWE has been tipping off superstars for years about upcoming tests, giving anyone who's been taking substances they shouldn't have time to get clean. As evidence, the veteran wrestling journalist commented on there being a recent string of suspensions after years went by without anyone failing the test, and Meltzer claimed that the company has only stopped warning stars ahead of time recently, which explains why these suspensions are happening again. If true, then this also throws a lot of questions up about the integrity of the company's wellness policy, and we'll keep you updated on any more details from this story as it develops. We are taking a break from the ring now to look at the XFL, which had done well in its first 2 weeks. However, this week's show saw a drastic decline in viewers, as according to Showbuzz Daily, the recent Saturday game on ABC saw 2.05 million viewers and a .5 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic, down 16.7% from the week before. On Saturday's FS1 game, just 1.91 million fans tuned in, which was down 17.6% from the week before. Sunday's games were even worse for Vince McMahon's new league, as the game on ESPN saw 1.47 million fans tune in, a 41% decrease, while the game on FS1 brought a measly 1 million fans, a 26% decrease. While the new league certainly started strong, this sharp decline in viewers is very similar to the original XFL, which was cancelled after one season, and Vince McMahon will certainly be hoping to do better this time with his new brand of football. Now, if you've been watching the news lately, you'll know the coronavirus is getting a lot of people sick, and it's also infected the world of wrestling. Recently, New Japan Pro Wrestling revealed that they had canceled shows for the next couple of weeks due to the threat of the virus, and they're not the only company that has canceled shows recently. On Twitter, Dramatic DDT Wrestling tweeted that they've canceled all shows for the next week. This follows a trend of many major public gatherings being canceled as organizers worry about the threat of widespread infection, and hopefully the virus will be contained and go away very soon. Back to WWE now, and while this year's Super Showdown event had a lot that got the fans talking online, there was one moment that many fans may have missed. During the Smackdown Tag Team Championship match between The New Day and John Morrison and The Miz, Michael Cole mentioned Kofi's championship past, including a tag title reign in the late 2000s with CM Punk. What made this comment so interesting is that in the past, the commentators have reportedly been told to not mention Punk on WWE TV, and there's also been no mention of the straight-edge superstar when promoting WWE backstage on Fox. Of course, Cole's mention of the former WWE World Champion could turn out to be nothing, but it certainly led to speculation on the Chicago-made star's relationship with the WWE. Whatever the state of Punk's relationship with WWE is, fans of him will still speculate on Punk returning to the ring one more time, and this comment by Cole will only add fuel to the fire that Punk might one day be back in the squared circle. And finally today, we're ending with the results of Super Showdown, as the WWE certainly did plenty in Riyadh. On the kickoff show, the OC defeated the Viking Raiders, and the main card started with the shocking return of The Undertaker, who captured the Tuwaiq Mountain Trophy. Up next, the fans saw The Miz and John Morrison capture the SmackDown tag titles from The New Day, while Angel Garza defeated Humberto Carrillo. Raw's tag team champions Seth Rollins and Murphy were able to retain their titles from the Street Profits, and WWE's Saudi star Mansoor kept up his winning ways in his home country, defeating Dolph Ziggler. After Brock Lesnar flattened Ricochet to retain the WWE title, fans saw Roman Reigns defeat King Corbin in a cage, while Bayley made history, retaining her SmackDown Women's Championship against Naomi in the first women's title match in Saudi Arabia. And in the main event, Goldberg captured his second Universal Championship by defeating The Fiend, and while this decision may not have been popular, we're certainly interested to see what Goldberg has to say tonight when he appears on SmackDown, which will also feature the return of John Cena.